I let one out and it was painstakingly bad. And he just goes, Jesus Christ! And he's just like, yeah.
He's probably getting off the plane and then going to kill a few people. That fart was the breaking point. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm killing my wife tonight.
Oh no.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% online, plus it's affordable. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/HAIYAA. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/HAIYAA. HAIYAA.
Welcome back, nieces and nephews, to HAIYAA Podcast. And today I'm in a special place. I'm in Joshua Weissman's house / studio. Beautiful place, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. And if you don't know, listeners, Joshua Weissman is a chef and also a big YouTuber and a big YouTube chef. Just all around does great food. I have to say, every time I need to Google a recipe, I would Google that recipe, Joshua Weissman. I'll on YouTube search bar, I'll type pesto, that. Joshua Weissman. Pad Thai, Joshua Weissman. Adobo, Joshua Weissman, you know? And sometimes when I research videos, I have my researcher, like adobo, for instance, I have my researcher, of course, but then I also type adobo, Joshua Weissman to see what you do.
Yeah.
Because if you get it right, if you get it really right, then I'm like, okay, that's another video to review in the future.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Or wrong.
Yes, or wrong. Yeah. Sometimes wrong. Yeah. But, you know, most of the time, good instincts and stuff.
I try to be accurate. I appreciate you saying that. I mean, I think a lot of the time I really try to pride myself in the accuracy of what we do. There are definitely times where we get it wrong, but I think the thing we're always going for is how do we make this a good experience for the person that is cooking? And I feel like a lot of the time in the general space, and when I say general, I mean everything, right? Everything. All of the food networks or Bon Appetits or whatever, and there are websites that I like and use, but the one constant issue that I see is there usually a mistake or there's usually an inaccuracy, and that's because the way they're writing these recipes is they're writing it either for like a cook or like someone proficient, but they're not writing it for people who don't cook that much. They're not writing it for like mass understanding, and that's what I'm trying to do.
So what's the difference then if you're not writing it for someone who's proficient? How would they?
Personally, I think that the people that are writing the recipes are not good enough to write a recipe like that. You have to be really good.
Shots fired by Joshua Weissman.
Truly, right? Like, in my opinion, you have to really understand every single element of what you're doing when you write a recipe in order to truly describe it to someone. It's sort of like the whole thing of you're never truly a master of something unless you can explain it simply. Yeah. Right? And we've heard that saying many times over, and I think it's the same thing with a recipe. If you can explain it simply in a way that everyone can understand, you've mastered it. Otherwise, you know, they have all these people who like sort of write recipes. Like, dude, I might have been cooking professionally for a decade, but I've been cooking constantly. And when I say constantly, I mean like pretty much every single day for multiple hours on end. This is prior to when I would consider it work because I was a kid, since I was like 4 or 5 years old, like all the way up to now I'm 26. You know, you do the math. I mean, that's a lot of compounding.
What got you into it, the cooking thing? Why did you like it so much? And you're only 26.
Yeah, I know.
Very young, very
baby.
successful.
I know. 26, look 36. So that's what I like to say.
You give off, and we'll cover this in a sec. I want to know what got you into cooking first. But you give off like older person vibes because you had a hard life. You can tell Joshua didn't grow up rich. You know, people who grow up rich, they just give off young vibes longer. Yeah. You know, because maybe their life has been easier and they're more positive with the world because things have always worked out their way. Yeah. You know, but before we get into that,
sure. Yeah.
How did you develop that interest in food?
I feel like the majority of my young life, I never was really good at that many things. I wasn't like great at video games. Still not.
Yeah, you shouldn't be great at video games, right?
Sure, but what are the things that you care about when you're like 10 and 11?
Yeah,
you know, you don't have that broad of a viewpoint on the world.
That's before you discovered women, you know. Before puberty.
I was also bad at that, so I'll tell you that. I may be engaged. Somehow I worked that out, but you know. Anyway, the point is like, it was something that I was almost immediately good at. I don't know how. It was just like a natural instinct. And my mom was the one who brought me into the kitchen. She was like, oh, do you want to try doing this? And it was the one safe place where I could fuck around and like do shit that I could hold a knife, I could chop stuff, I could snap stuff in half, I could squish things with my hands. So it was like that one thing where I had power where you don't normally have power as a little kid. You don't know shit. Everyone's like, shut the hell up, do your thing. Yeah. And so I had power, felt like it, and I was good at it. And so I was like, let me just keep doing this. And there was definitely, I do remember one specific point when I was like, I'll give you a range because obviously I don't remember the exact age, but it could be anywhere between 9 and 10. I had this like epiphany moment because that's the age you start thinking about career. What do I want to do? Oh, what do you want to be when you want to grow up? Do you want to be an astronaut? And I kept thinking like, not only am I good at this, but I think this is like my thing. I think this is like the one thing that I could do every single day and never get tired of it. And I recognized that when I was young and committed to it then.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay. Interesting background. And I don't know, I get what you're saying about the power thing as a kid. I'm thinking back to myself, did I want power as a kid? What did I do as a kid?
Not even like, well, not power, but you know, like
climbing
control.
trees and shit.
Like you want to do stuff that adults do. Like you wanted to feel like you had control over your life. As a kid, sometimes you feel like you have to listen to everybody.
But I like that as a kid. I mean, aren't kids what kid has this thirst for power? You're like a fucked up kid.
I'm like, power. Yeah, I think that, you know what's funny? Actually, I'm getting a flashback to when it was my 16th birthday. And or 15th, one of the two. 16th birthday. I just got my driver's license and everything. And for the party, they're like, you know, they got me gifts and I was like, I really want something else. And I like told them, I was like, I kind of want like a whole pig. And my mom was like, fuck no. And my dad was like, yeah, hell yeah. And so, you know, fast forward a couple of weeks, my mom walks back in and she walks through the door and here's me, 16 kid, in the middle of her kitchen with a bone saw in my hand and a whole pig's leg. And I'm like, and like, it was like a movie. I like paused when she walked in and I was like, oh, hey, look what dad got me. And
for your birthday.
Yeah.
At 16, people usually want like a PlayStation, you know?
Yeah.
They just want a whole hog with the apple in its mouth and stuff.
Yeah, there was no apple. Its jaw was, I'd already
that's how Jeffrey Dahmer started, right?
Yeah.
You know?
You know what's funny is I think that could have been a red flag moment, and for some reason they did not question it.
I think they should have just let Jeffrey Dahmer be a chef. That would have saved like a lot of lives of
potentially.
People.
That's a good point. I feel like maybe it's the one thing that prevented me from becoming a serial killer.
Yeah, you slice up some fish, and you're like, oh, I got it out of my system.
Yeah, I got it out of my
I'm a normal
system.
human being again.
Yeah.
Let's slice up some hamachi.
Maybe not pornography. Yeah.
That gets it out of your system.
Yeah, I do really like it when it's like that perfect cut, you know?
Yeah, that's what Jeffrey Dahmer would say too. Somebody just had to reach out to him, like, Jeffrey, just make a pork chop. Okay, just relax in the human being thing.
Yeah,
you know?
he did the whole cooking thing. You know, I watched.
He started cooking, but after he got the thirst for killing people, he started cooking the people, right?
Yeah.
But if only we gave like Jeffrey Dahmer like a chef knife and a pan, he would have cooked at home.
He technically did. He technically did have a chef knife. He just didn't use it on the right meat, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I watched the series. I got 2 episodes in, couldn't watch it.
Why?
It just makes me nauseous.
Why? Because he's gay? Very homophobic, Josh.
So, okay, you know what's funny is you would think that I would not find that grotesque because I've cut up whole hogs, whole cows, and I've seen it all. You know, I've killed things, you know, from a hunting perspective, or like breaking down lobster. I kill lobster live because it's the most humane way. But when I saw the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, I was like, this is too much. Like just the imagination of it and seeing it, I was like, nah.
Yeah, nah. Killing a black person, no. Killing a white person, sure.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
I had to kill a lobster when I was filming with Nick, and I didn't like it either. I didn't even like killing a lobster. I don't know if it's one because I wasn't very good at it. So I stabbed a knife into that neck area.
Yeah, the notch.
It was still moving, and then, well, okay, I think they fucked up too. The video is about Nick teaching me how to prepare lobster, right? Nick DiGiovanni, another YouTube chef. So he said how to kill it. Okay, stab it in, pull it down, but it didn't tell me to lift the knife up. So I just stabbed it in, pushed it down, and I just left it there. And I could see a lobster just kind of struggling. And I still don't want to go vegan. I still don't give a shit, but I just felt a little bit bad. It's like, sorry, lobster.
Sometimes they will continue to move.
So that was a little stressful, man, trying to kill a lobster. And you said they move sometimes still?
So sometimes they do. It really depends on the lobster, obviously. But, you know, the way that it should be done, there's 2 ways to do it. You can use a cleaver and cut them clean in half. To me, that's like the fastest, surefire way. The notch is the secondary way, which is accurate, but if you've never done it before, you should really be prepared for it. And so a lot of the time what I'll do Did you use like a towel or anything? You just put the knife and that was it?
I don't remember. I think there was a towel because a lot of juices come out.
Yeah, water.
I don't remember now. Yeah.
There's a water reservoir near their head that contains water, obviously, in their shell. But yeah, so the trick should be the notch is here. The knife should always go, for me personally, about 1/4 of an inch back. You drive it down, and then top of hand and slam it down so it goes all the way through. Then you remove the knife. But at that point, you don't leave it there. You have to immediately, unfortunately, you're disemboweling it, disembowel it. So you have to you do that, you pick it up quickly, tail, claws, remove, ice water, done. Like it has to be fast.
That takes practice, man.
It takes practice. But there have definitely been times where I've disassembled a lobster and I'm like, cool, it's done. And I drop it in the hot water and it's still moving. And I'm like, I've never seen that before. It happens, 1 out of 10 lobsters will do that.
Wow.
It's just the nerve endings. The lobster's dead. It is not alive. It is far from alive, but it's the nerve endings still reacting. Kind of like if you sprinkle salt on a freshly killed piece of fish, it kind of moves a little bit.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's ionic compounds or whatever, something I don't honestly don't remember.
rigor mortis or something.
It's not rigor mortis. It's the nerve endings are still alive. The lobster itself is no longer alive, no longer there. There's no, but the nerve impulses, the electromagnetic pulses that are in the nerves are still active, and salt reacts with it, and it also will react to touch. So my body will naturally do this, but if your brain is no longer there, you're not cognizant, it's just the nerves still doing stuff. Back to Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yes, you couldn't watch that show 2 episodes in. And I really enjoyed it. I watched it all throughout this tour when I was traveling on the planes and on trains and stuff. Bad idea, by the way, because people just kind of look at you weird.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I can't wait to go make people laugh. Let me watch a serial killer.
It's a good show. It's very entertaining. It's shot well. And I have to say, the show lost steam after Jeffrey Dahmer was caught. It's come on. I don't care about these victims. I just want to see Dahmer do shit. He's the protagonist of the story.
Protagonist?
Yeah, if you watch Breaking Bad, it's like the anti-hero, right? You watch Breaking Bad, Walter White. Imagine Breaking Bad without Walter White. It's boring. You want to see the bad guy get away with shit, know? And Jeffrey's a cool guy, I thought a lot of people like the true crime stuff now.
Yeah.
And especially women, they love this true crime stuff because they love fantasizing about bad things happening to other women. They do.
It's so funny. My fiance loves true crime.
Of course she does.
But then, of course, whenever I go out of town, she's calling me hey, and I'm like, what's up? Are you good? It's 2 p.m. Are you at school? She's like, I'm at the house and I'm alone and I'm scared. And I'm like, wow, maybe you should stop listening to stories about women being choked to death in their house when they're alone, when their husband's away.
I think that's just your fiance checking on you. Make sure you're not at a brothel or strip club or something.
Yeah, me at my brothel, yeah. The only brothel I'm at would be a place that's producing broth. If that was a brothel, like a pho place,
yes,
that's a brothel.
That's my type of brothel.
That's right.
If that pho place also has women who have sex with you, that would be perfect. Brothels should have good food,
Yeah. Here's your mung beans.
Can you imagine? If you want to make sex work non-stigmatized, you should serve some good food there.
That's not a bad idea.
Right? Oh. Attach a brothel to a Michelin star. Attach a brothel to a Nobu. And then I'll be there all the time. You have omakase and tits, love it.
I'm engaged, so I can't comment, but I have a note though.
Sidestepped it
I can imagine it though. They're like, oh, sorry, did you want, you wanted lime and mung bean sprouts? Here are your mung bean sprouts. Also, would you like some asshole?
Yeah.
What do they just throw that in a side dish or
Why? It's weird how the first thing you go to is asshole. I would go with blowjobs, or hand jobs.
I've never been to a brothel. You're gonna have to inform me.
Oh, you don't really have those in America, do you?
No.
Yeah, you have to go to Amsterdam and check out the red light district.
I've been to Amsterdam.
Yeah, what do you think? Did you go with your fiance, with Kate?
I did not, no.
Okay.
But I also did not go to any brothels.
Oh,
I did go to the red light district for 30 minutes. It was cool. It's whatever. It was a little weird. I didn't know how to feel about it. I mean, for the most part, it was a lot more chill than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be people running rampant. It was just there are red lights and there's a few women in the window. All right, cool. This is kind of the women in the window thing. I was like, don't look me in the eye. And so I moved on from that. There was one place though, the Condomery. Have you seen that place?
Oh, the Condomery. I've heard of it. The Condomery. Okay.
Condomery, the Condomery. It's literally just hundreds of different condoms that make your wee look like whatever you want. There was one that looked like Godzilla. There was one that looked like the Weenie Hut Jr. Not Weenie Hut Jr. The Wiener Schnitzel logo. All sorts of options.
I want that. I need that. I need a condom to make my dick look like, you know, like nice.
Yeah. Oh, is it? What's the description of it?
I think it can be better.
Yeah.
You know, I think it can look. You want a dick that commands respect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't want a dick that's like you know the Chilean miners after they just escape, or the Thai football team after they just escaped the cave. They're like anemic and just you know. You don't want a dick that sputters.
Are you saying that's what
you want a dick that's like just you know?
Yeah.
Like fucking Hitler's speech.
Imagine that in your mind. That's Nigel.
You want a dick that when women pull it down, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
You know? Hello to you.
What's the usual reaction that you would get?
They're like, aww.
Or they start crying.
No. It's it's decent. It gets the job done.
Okay, there you go.
You know, it's no porno dick.
Yeah.
You know, it's not good enough to appear in a porno. Sometimes
Well, apparently
it's a bit personal, but you know, fuck it. Sometimes I film people going down on me, and it's like, it's good. It's good. But the dick I wish my dick was a bit more porno looking.
You know, you don't have. You're a comedian. You're working in a different sector. You're fine. But all I know is the one story that you've given me, which is the person who literally chose their mortgage over you. Okay, so that tells me enough. You could skip everything you just told me, and I have all the information I need.
Joshua listens to the podcast, and no, you don't. I just told him the story. If you don't know the story, just listen to the previous episode. Yeah. So what about it?
Has she texted you back yet?
Nope.
I don't know what to say. That's a bad
sign.
sign.
In there. Yeah.
That's a bad sign.
No. People choose paying down their mortgage over hanging out with me, so that's a little bit sad.
Yeah.
But you know, if only I had that porn star dick.
Hey, I don't need you to have a porn star dick for me to hang out with you.
Oh, thank you.
I know.
It's very nice.
We're very heartfelt here, so
it's a good podcast. There's a lot of bromance going on.
Yeah.
You know? And then we just finished filming 2 videos. One for your channel, which is you teaching Uncle Roger how to run a restaurant.
Yeah. You did good.
Thank you.
Surprisingly good.
My chopping was all right.
Yeah.
I just had to spend some time, like you were doing it like a machine, but I had to really, really focus, and I still only got like maybe 70% of the way.
Yeah,
there.
Still, I think 70% is more than most could say.
Oh,
so it's way above average. Also, like speed is something that I think doesn't necessarily usually come with. I think it's funny. People associate speed with skill, but oftentimes speed is associated with repetition. I've done it a million times.
Yeah, but repetition is skill too, though. You know.
True.
Yeah. So your knife work just beautiful. So thanks for teaching me. But you know, I film these videos, right? I pick up a thing or two too, because I know a lot of the theory. I have to Google like how to chop certain things, and I see how they chop, and then I can picture it in my head. I just don't know how to do it in practice.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I would say your skill set is, if I were to like compare it, I would say you're in 100% being like way like pro level, and then 0% being like has never cooked before in terms of like a normal person or a non-professional chef, whatever. I think you're like at a 65, potentially even 70%. You're way above average. Way above average.
Thank you. And I just talk shit, listeners. Right?
See, you should know this.
You pick up a few things along the way when you talk shit. You mainly learn what not to do.
Yeah. It's kind of like the theory of you learn by teaching. You know, have you ever felt that way where you teach somebody something that you understand, but somehow by teaching it, you understand it even more?
No, I learned by watching Jamie Oliver, because you learn what not to do. It's very easy.
I feel so bad for him, kind of. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid,
don't feel too bad for him. He's the king of UK cookbook sales. Every year he comes up with a new cookbook, sells millions.
Really?
Maybe not millions. I don't exactly know how much he sells, but he makes a lot of money. He lives in a nice big house in the UK. Let's not feel too bad.
Yeah,
for Jamie
Oliver. That's fair. That's fair. You're right. Okay.
Yes. And it's my second time in Houston. I was here 6 months ago.
I remember. Right? I was surprised you'd circle back so quickly. That's so much.
I don't want to be here either, you know?
You're telling me I'm trying to get the hell out of here right now. Oh, look, I mean, Houston's great. I prefer Austin. It's my own taste. But my mom's from Houston, so I have a special place in my heart here. No matter what, as much shit as I talk about Houston, my mom's from here, so.
Well, I I've done Houston 6 months ago, and I think we sold quite well here, ticket wise.
It's awesome.
So Live Nation just my tour company just put on another show in Houston, and I'm like, I've done it already, guys.
Yeah.
But when I said that, it was already too late. They already put it on sale. So here I am again, people, just for you guys. Right after this, we filmed 2 videos today.
Sounds so grateful right now.
Well, we have to film 3 videos today, and then have to go do a show and talk for an hour and a half on stage, man. It's a lot. It's a lot.
But you will, you know what? You're going to get that going to bed feeling productive. And I love that feeling personally. So maybe there's a benefit there.
No, I like the feeling, going to bed feeling, that was a chill day. Didn't do shit. I already took a nap. I don't know why I'm in bed right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
I miss that feeling, you know. Are you productive every day? You work every day?
I do work every day, yeah. Wow. I would say probably for the past decade, at least. Like the past 10 years, I've worked every single day, anywhere from minimum like 10 hours. But usually it's like 14 to 16 hours, I would say. I find time in between. Obviously, there's some discrepancies in that statement, though. Of course, during, Thanksgiving Day, I'm probably going to spend the majority of my day with my family. But sometimes I'll like stay up until 3 a.m. to get an extra 4 or 5 hours of something in. I'm not counting my hours. I just find myself doing it. I don't know.
But every day?
Every day.
For the last 10 years?
Pretty much.
Were you a YouTuber for 10 years now? Or
no, but the restaurant industry kind of bred it into me.
So you always worked in food?
Yes. Yeah, I always worked in food.
Because I can tell you didn't grow up with a lot of money. No offense. But you can tell with some people.
The short answer is no. But, in the early stages of my growing up, we lived in LA, and there was a small part of my life where we sort of had money, and then there was an economical stuff that happened, and then we didn't. And this happened when I was really young. I was like maybe 7.
What was the economical stuff? The .com bubble?
No, I think...
Well, you wouldn't have been born.
I honestly don't know. I don't remember. It was whenever the stock market crashed. Like bad.
Okay. .com bubble then. I think that's it.
Yeah, it might have been .com bubble. And then there was... No, it wasn't the house. Yeah, it was a .com bubble, I'm pretty sure. And so then I was really young. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
just suddenly thought, Mom, why are we eating McDonald's every day now? We used to be going to Michelin star restaurants.
It wasn't that bad. It was just like to the point where, we had moved to Houston, and I was used to living in LA.
Yeah.
And
what a step down, huh?
Yeah. Nice weather every day, and then all of a sudden I was like, why is it like rainy and cold and people are angry and saying racial slurs out loud?
Yeah.
And why is it not okay that Ricky likes boys? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
why is Mom always going out at night and coming back home in the morning?
Yeah.
What's she doing?
That, it was kind of like at a point where I knew something was up, but I also was a kid, so I didn't really think that deeply into it. But I don't know, I never felt bad about it. It just was like, whatever. And we'd never had a bad life per se, but when I moved out, I went straight into restaurants. So it definitely didn't get better from there. It got worse. And restaurants, I think the most I ever got paid working in restaurants was like $11 an hour. And that was when I was like at a high level.
But in the US, you make tips though, right?
No.
No?
No.
Well, you don't get the tips?
Not if you're cooking, no.
Oh, shit.
It's very rare. It's very, very rare you get tips as a cook.
Oh,
or chef.
Fuck. Yeah, 11 an hour is not a lot, man. Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard life.
It's even if you're working a lot of hours, you're still like struggling. But I was also trying to do other stuff, and my fiance used to help me pay rent, which is why she's my fiance now.
That's great. Did you get a prenup? You get a prenup?
That's
always get a prenup, guys. Take it from me, a divorced person.
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
Oh, good luck.
Good luck. She's amazing. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, I think it's a thing that everyone should do in general, but it's also up to the person's taste of what they think they want to do, whatever they think is best. But everyone recommends it. Lawyers recommend it. Most married couples recommend it.
You should do it. You should draft it up for free.
She'll draft it up for me.
Yeah. What kind of law does she practice?
She hasn't graduated fully yet. She is about to take the bar, so she's like in law school technically, but
fingers crossed.
She's gonna do well.
She a good cook.
Yeah.
I seen that video where you challenge her. You guys cook together.
She's better than she says she is. That's what I'll say. She's definitely better than she says she is. But sometimes she jokes every once in a while about being a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, that's cool with me. And she's like, fuck no. She comes from a long line of like hardworking, her mom's a lawyer. Her mom's like one of the top women lawyers in like Texas.
Wow.
Super hardcore, very intelligent. And same thing with like her sister-in-law, and you know, her brother's not a lawyer, but he owns a business. So it's kind of like this family dynamic. She feels that intensity.
You know, when I mentioned prenup, I was thinking a few weeks ago I was in Miami, right? And then we met this couple. Me and my producer were just hanging out by the pool. We met this couple from Chicago. They got married already, and I was like, "Did you get a prenup?" And it just made them so uncomfortable. They're like, "Oh, what?" So is this why? Is that a common thing to be uncomfortable when you bring up money?
I think people are really illogical in general, and most people are, let's be honest, emotionally and intentionally, most people are inept. And so I think when you ask somebody a question like that, they immediately go, oh, if you're getting a prenup, that means you don't love that person, or you're planning to separate from that person, or you're not truly in it for that person. But the reality is, like, there's too many stories of things that you've never seen before, that things that just get fucked up that you were never expecting. Like,
yeah. And sometimes you want to be the person for their money. It's fine. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a good arrangement to have. Who needs love? Just love your family, love your parents, your cousin, whatever. You get with a woman from a good family, get their money. That's good.
What I will say is Kate was with me way before we ever had any amount of money. If anything, she had more money than I did for pretty much our entire relationship.
She was paying your rent.
She was paying my rent.
That's good. That's how you know a dick game strong.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your dick game so good, your woman pays your rent for you. Wow.
For months.
Months. Nice.
It's love, you know.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Are you ever having one of those days where you wish that life came with a user manual? You know, you're there. For example, I'll give you a small example. You might be recording a podcast and your host and star, the people that everyone wants to see, might be halfway around the world on holiday in Hawaii. And as the producer, you might be stuck in London in your small flat, and you got your dog over there, and you're tasked with delivering an ad read that you're not normally used to doing, and it fills you with a bit of fear, and you're quite nervous about it, and you're thinking, am I doing this right? Is this good? You know, is my boss going to think this is good? And you have that kind of imposter syndrome, and that's just one of the many problems you might have in your life. And at that point, you think, oh, I wish I could just open up chapter 2. Oh, that's how you do it. Alas, we don't have that. And of course, that's a very specific issue if you're a podcast producer and that occasion happens. But there's so many more, like getting married or having children or changing jobs or moving to a new city, where it can be intimidating and it can be a struggle to navigate it. Where this is where therapists come in. They're just gold dust, because it helps you to express those feelings and really get to the root of what's causing them. What are you afraid of, or what are you finding frustrating, or how can we better express ourselves in our day-to-day lives? So I know Nigel has taken therapy with BetterHelp and has definitely found some really useful experiences by doing it. And I can say that I have too. And to be honest, like it's just the ability to be able to express yourself in a safe space. And the way I like to do it is you come to these sessions without a plan. So you don't know what you're going to speak about. It's all free association. You go in thinking, okay, I wonder what this is going to be about. And then by the end, you realize, wow, I didn't realize I had that bottled inside. And clearly I needed to express it because it could have been seeping out in other ways. That's what you don't realize until you take therapy. So yeah, I mean, if you've never done it, I would 100% recommend it. I've been doing therapy for around 6 months now, and it's really helped. I've done CBT before to help with, I spoke about gambling in the past and anxiety, and that really helped with that. And I think this like more conventional, talking therapy is also great. Like it's less trying to tackle a problem and more trying to just work your way through life and be the best version of yourself and present that best version to the people you love around you. Because ultimately that's why we're all doing it, isn't it? Is to feel better in yourself, but also to really be that best person that you know you can be. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched over 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, 100% online, plus it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily match with a new therapist at any time. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endlessly searching for the right therapist. To learn more and save 10% off your first month, go to betterhelp.com/HAIYAA. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/HAIYAA. HAIYAA. Back to the show.
One thing I could say about that in the world of like, you know, when you sort of have that like back up against the wall, there's no safety net, anything you do could lead you to ruin and there's no way back, there's nobody to save you, right? And so I think there's a leading light to that you create your own safety nets. And if you're strong enough to make movement around that, if you're strong enough to do that with the things that you love and just to remain focused on things that you're passionate about, instead of just making decisions based off money, like, oh, I can go and do advertising and make a lot of money. I can go and work as this office job, do copywriting and make $100K a year. It's like, I'd rather just do something that I want to do because I don't give a fuck. I want to be happy and I want to be happy with what I'm doing. But speaking of money.
Yes.
Water.
So
we had this conversation.
Water? Yes, you're a water connoisseur.
I'm a water connoisseur.
You know?
So just because, there may not be a variety of wealth that I come from, per se, I'm a huge stickler for water. Obviously food, right? Because that's my thing. But the taste is a universal thing.
You can tell the differences of types of water?
By a lot, yeah. I literally will not drink purified water. If I cannot find spring water, I will not drink water until I find spring water.
Well, you're gonna die of thirst one day. I got to the restaurant before you yesterday, so I sat down and the waitress asked, what water do you like? Sparkling, still? I just said tap. Was that a wrong move for you?
I knew it. I knew it, I could tell.
Really?
Because remember I said, I think it's the ice, but I don't know. But my first thought was like, this does not taste good. This is definitely, there's something tap. It's either the ice that's tap or it's the water that's tap. But once you put ice in it, you can't tell because the ice flavors the water. So for example, if you leave ice in a fucking freezer with a bunch of shit in it, and you know that freezer taste, and you drink it and you're like, why does this taste like the freezer? The fucking ice. It's steeping in there like a tea of shit.
So when you go to a restaurant, you just get bottled water.
If I can, or like Aquapana, Evian, whatever they have, Fiji, anything that's spring water. I don't care where it comes from. There are better ones than the other, but I do not like purified water. It just makes me think that I'm drinking like purified poop water.
No, it's not. It's clean. I've been drinking it all my life. Not all my life. In Malaysia, you can't drink the tap water. So when I moved to the US, I was like, oh shit, this is new. This is convenient. In Malaysia, you want to drink the water, you have to install some sort of water filtration system or some sort of like, just go to the store to buy water all the time or boil the water beforehand. It's so annoying. Yeah. Over here, just randomly, I can drink this and not shit myself. That's good. It's very good. And I guess you're right. Meanwhile, Joshua Weissman's here like, I only drink water from a bottle.
I know, it's
only a glass bottle.
Well, it doesn't have to be from a bottle. I just don't want it to be from, I can't do purified water, man. It's so bad. If I go to a hotel, like if I go to a nice hotel that's expensive and they have pure, like for example, that water that we drank today, that's purified. I drank, just to prove to you, I did drink 2 bottles of that because I was very thirsty. But that's again, I hated every second of it. The point is, if I go to an expensive hotel, you know, like the ones that are like $500 a night or more, and I open up the door and there's fucking purified Nestle fucking water, that place is on my shit list forever.
What would you do? Would you call downstairs and ask them, do you have Fiji water?
I'll call and ask, do you guys have spring water? And if they don't, I'll be like, all right, cool, no worries, thank you. I'm not gonna be a dick. But
to be fair, you should have standards when it comes to food, right? Especially if you work in the food world. I work in the food world, sort of comedy/food world, whatever.
Yeah.
But life is too short for shitty water you don't like.
Think about
shitty
it like
wine.
You're 70% water. So if people want to talk about eating healthy, I think you should start with picking water to be the best.
I don't know about that. I think water is water. Really? I think it's personal preference. I don't think drinking purified water makes you less healthy, you know. But hey, preference is good.
We're gonna start doing blood work. We should exchange blood work. No, I'm fucking with you. I literally have no idea.
High cholesterol, blood sugar is a bit high as well. Diabetes runs in the family. And it's a very common thing in Asia, in
Really?
Asian people. Yeah,
I did not know that.
we're all born different. You know, we're not all one human race. We're all different, and we should.
Is this your segue into a racist conversation?
I'm not saying one race better than the other. I'm saying some segregation is good because we're not supposed to eat everybody else's food. You know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, some people need more sunscreen than other people. If you live among other white people only, then you'll be like, oh shit, we burn so easily. But if you live in a multicultural society, you have your Indian friends, you have your black friends, right? And then they don't sunburn, and don't tell you to put sunscreen on, and then you die from skin cancer. So you see what segregation, why it can be a positive sometimes, like a tiny amounts.
I'm 100% outside this conversation. You're in this sector, and I'm like over here.
Put it this way, okay? You grew up in a diverse culture as an Asian person, and then you think you're normal, whatever. But then once in a while, you meet a group of friends who are all just Asians, and then you can talk about your Asian problems. Like, you know about this thing, Asian flush? Some Asian people, we don't have the enzyme to break down alcohol, so we drink a little bit of alcohol, our whole face turns red.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's a real thing, see? And you only discover this. Imagine if you're an Asian kid who grew up in a multicultural place, and you realize, what must my face turn red? I must be the weird one. It must be so weird and abnormal and something's wrong with me. Until you hang out with other Asian people, you're like, oh, it's normal. We just have a higher probability of not having that enzyme, you know? So I think once in a while, it's good to segregate yourself. Like one day a month, you should only hang out with people of your own race.
I think I already have enough of that problem.
What do you mean?
There's white people everywhere in the United States.
That's true.
Most of the time when I'm in the room, it's only white people, and I'm like...
So you have a very diverse cast of workers who work for you.
We hire based off of what people can do.
Yeah, and they can only be men. Because...
Well, we have one woman.
Oh, shit.
And we listen to her. Everybody listens to her. Everybody's afraid of her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I met her last time I was here.
She's great. She's hardcore. She's awesome.
I always do this so people can know my podcast vibes. Vikram, Kendrick, Ulysses. Yes, hello everyone. See? Joshua Weissman, very diverse guy. Very diverse dude. But I'm saying there is some benefit to segregation.
Yeah.
But the problem in society these days is how do you balance that, you know? Segregated countries is mostly white people, or most like Japan, mostly Japanese people, low crime rates, cheap houses, you know? There's just, I don't know. I'm not making any policy decisions here. I'm just stating some stuff. Sweden, all white, terrible place to be. I hated that place.
I heard Sweden is very racist.
Yeah, it's very racist because they just don't need to be non-racist. Everybody's white. They haven't learned that it's wrong yet. Everybody's white. Just chill out. They're all beautiful.
Yeah.
Tall, beautiful people, and just hang out amongst themselves. They eat their salmon. A lot of them are pescatarians.
And they have no sunlight or something like that, right?
Oh, it's a horrible place. Like 3:30, the sun goes down.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
It's also expensive to go there. I want to go to Sweden. Everyone says I should go, but I'm just like, eh.
I'm just saying you should enjoy your life and drink the water you want to drink and eat the food you want to eat. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. No segregation. It's all one human race. Yada yada yada. We're all the same. We all.
The only thing that I would say, my takeaway from that statement is, if you're drinking purified water, you should just fucking stop. Please. Like, just spend the extra 35 to 85 cents. I know that is a privileged as fuck thing to say, but if you can, spend the extra 35 to 75 cents to just get a bottle of spring water.
I agree. It's the same way how, you know, even I fly a lot these days, right? And then the food, because you care about water and you care about food as well. That's why I hate flying. Because you can't really care about food if you're flying. You know, if I see that I'm supposed to take a flight today, I know the whole day I'll be eating shit food until I land at that city that I'm flying to. Yeah. You wake up, you check in at the airport, and now you're stuck at the airport for an hour and a half eating the airport food. Have you ever had good airport food? It's terrible. They can fuck up eggs in an airport.
Well, they fuck up everything. Here's the thing. I don't want to... If I'm going on a plane, if I'm in an aircraft, in the air, do not serve... I don't want to eat eggs out of a tin.
No.
I don't... First off, where the fuck did that come from? Second off, even if it was pre-cooked, whatever, frittata style, whatever, it's been sitting there in its own frozen ass juices, and then it's like blasted in a microwave, which I'm just kind of like, I'm good. I am good. There's just not a lot of scenarios where it's any good.
No matter how much you spend on a plane ticket, it's still fucking microwaved, isn't it? It's still heated up in some stuff.
As far as I know,
economy, business, first, whatever. And then they come up with you to pretend like, oh, do you want what main option do you want? You know, do you want the microwave option 1 or microwave option 2? It's the saddest thing. Flying is so depressing and grim. And when these influencers post their plane tickets or view outside the window, oh, flying business class to Dubai or wherever, I'm like, it's depressing, man. Who's celebrating this shit?
Yeah. I saw a video of someone who was eating the first class, like 30,000 whatever flight to Dubai. And I was looking at, and like it's plated and they get their fucking little tin of caviar that's been sitting at the improper temperature for far too long. And it's sort of like they're trying to create the illusion of luxury. I would love to try it because I've never had it before, but from my understanding, how are they cooking that, right? Are they cooking it or is it just microwave?
Do you have to cook caviar?
No, not the caviar. Sorry, the meat, like where they course it out on like these really expensive first class flights to like Dubai.
I've never seen a wok on a first class, on any flight.
Definitely cannot put that on a plane.
I think
I was going to take the walk to Poland.
Hey.
I literally, no, we had this conversation. Vikram and I had this conversation when the walk to, you know, the Lil Yachty song?
Yeah.
When that came out, my first thought was like, we have a flight to catch next week. What if I take a walk with me to the airport and I walk all the way to the international side to wherever the next flight to Poland is and I just hold the walk up?
Why can't you have like a gas stove on a plane? It's not like you're gonna burn the plane down.
I feel like there's gotta be...
you have gas stoves in restaurants. Yeah, you never burn the restaurant down.
Yeah, but you're in like a pressurized tube in like, how many feet in the air? Like
I'm just saying they'll make... If planes had like maybe a gym, a proper restaurant with a walk, and you can sit down, right? What's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, a bit of turbulence and then the fire gets all over the place. Get a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Make the experience so much better for everybody.
I like your practicality. I feel like there's some sort of explosive element to the fact of like lighting gas and then lighting it in a pressurized tube.
But isn't good food worth it?
But you could do an induction.
Induction? Okay, fine. I can...
It's better than microwaving.
Yes, I can compromise.
Yeah.
When it's on a plane, you can use an induction stove and cook shit.
There's also induction like wok burners that are like that have like an internal basin that your wok like gets placed into, so it heats the whole underside of the wok. And
yeah,
I've never used one, but I've heard they work well. Never used one though.
I just want to see someone cooking because I think even if you're flying business or first, the food still comes from an aluminum tin. It's just that they put it on a plate before serving it to you if it's on business. If it's economy, then it just comes in an aluminum tin, and then you just open the tin and you eat. You know, like a dog poverty bento box, right?
But you paid $1,000 for the ticket though.
I know. I traveled too much this year, man. I think I'm complaining about it.
Yeah, how much have you spent on tickets this year?
I don't know. They just take it out of my tourist settlement. I don't look at it. I don't want to because
he's just like covering his eyes, like I don't want to.
There's no way to win. You spend a lot to make your life comfortable, and you make less money from the tour.
Yeah.
But if you want to skimp on the flying, and then you're miserable the whole journey. You know, flying economy, just squash next to the person.
Yeah.
On the way
farting.
Here. Oh, they're farting. They take the armrest.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll be honest. I'm the one that's usually farting.
Why are you farting on a plane?
What am I supposed to do? Like hold it for 5 hours?
Just go to the bathroom.
Well, yeah, I do.
Unless you can only fart. You're only allowed to fart if you have like a first class ticket. You have your own little room.
Yeah.
And you just fart in first.
You have one neighbor sometimes where it's 1 and 2.
Yeah. Oh, God, you're one of those.
There was just this one flight where it was particularly bad. And I forgot where we ate. We were in some city. We just ate terribly. And on the way back, it was like, it was a problem. I can't get up to go fart in the bathroom 20 times in a flight. So, I let it go a few times.
What are you eating that makes you fart so much? Protein shakes?
No, we were on a trip. I don't remember. We just ate out a lot.
Okay.
And it was like not good food. Tasted good, but it was just like not good food, not good for you. And I remember after like 4 or 5 times throughout this flight, the guy behind me just starts like, I can just tell he's irritated. Even though he's behind me, I can just tell he's just like, And I'm like, what the fuck is this dude's problem? And then I let one out, and it was painstakingly bad. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh no, wait, this guy's gonna get all pissed off at me if he figures out it's me. And he just goes, Jesus Christ! And he just like yells out loud, and it was so fucking funny.
He knows it's you.
Yeah, he did.
He knows it's you.
It was me.
And did you talk to him after?
No.
Hey man.
He was pissed off when he got off the plane.
What's your problem, bro?
Even 2 hours later, he was still angry. He like shoved past me and walked off the plane. It's just the whole like, Jesus Christ! It's just I can still hear his voice ringing in my ears.
Yeah, he's probably getting off the plane and then going to kill a few people to get it out of the system.
Yeah,
you know. So you
have we circled back to Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, I wasn't. I mean, there are more murderers than just him, but I think that's what he was gonna do. You got him at his breaking point.
Yeah.
That fart was the breaking point. You know, that one you let ripped on the United Airlines flight or whatever the airline you fly. Just
it ripped.
And he's like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm killing my wife tonight.
Oh no.
Putting her in the boot. Putting her in the trunk. Sorry, we're in America right now. Putting her in the trunk. Because Joshua Weissman fucking farted in my face.
It ripped, and then it ripped his will to live. That's what it was.
It's all you. You facilitated a murder.
He made a decision that I had no part in, that he couldn't handle the heat. That's what it is. Some people can't handle the heat. And I think that's kind of the overarching topic of what we've talked about this entire podcast.
Handling the heat.
Handling the heat.
I don't know if I can handle the heat anymore, man. Ever since I've gotten to my 30s, I just don't want to. Some days I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to work
why
today.
Are you nodding, man? You're the one that I need to be productive. Why are you nodding? You can't be nodding about this.
You got to give them some holidays. Do you get them? You give them vacation days?
We give vacation days.
Is it a YouTuber thing, or is it a you thing, or is it an American thing? But you guys work so much. I initially wanted to move to LA, and then I see how much you work, how much Guga works, all the YouTubers I collab with, how hard they work. I'm like, maybe being in the UK is good, you know?
UK is particularly different than I feel like UK and a lot of Europe, depending on where you're from, is different. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's like a cultural thing.
Yeah.
But also,
you guys barely get any holidays here.
But I don't know, there's less, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of layers to that conversation. Mm-hmm. One is cultural. One is like there are more things that we have to work for in order to compensate for things that we don't have, that y'all might have.
Like healthcare.
Healthcare, sure. Yeah, paying for the healthcare rather. Yeah. But I also think it's like the fact that America is more consumer-centric and more like capitalistic. So it's not, I'm not saying it's all about money, but I am saying like in order to stay ahead because everybody else is fighting at that level, you should also be fighting at that level. But for me personally, I mean, I've always been like that, and it wasn't really, it's not like I mean, of course there's a driving force behind it, but I mean, it's not like, I'm in America, I need to work hard. It's just how I've always been. For me personally. But I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think?
I think that's part of the capitalistic nature of this country. I mean, every country is capitalist to some extent, right? But America maybe a bit more. And I feel the difference between having money and not having money here, the quality of life difference is huge. Whereas the difference in Europe, I mean, Europe's an extreme example, but in the UK, you can be very wealthy or very poor. The difference in the quality of life is a little smaller.
Yeah. There's big differences here.
Yeah, people have a little less motivation to work as hard. I'm like considered the hardest working one in the UK among my peers, and like my podcast producer, I bitch about him. Matt, you know this. He goes to too many music festivals, and I complain about it. In a funny way, I complain about it on the podcast. But then after being here a while, I'm like, oh shit, I'm the lazy one. Americans look at me like how I look at my podcast producer. It's the same difference.
So I feel like, because the way that I operate is 100% goal-oriented. I'm not like just thinking about money or thinking that I need to work hard in order to get the things, in order to get money or something. It's that I have a very specific goal and a vision of the things that I want. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to bullshit myself and say that if I don't work my ass off or oh, I can take this day off or whatever. I'm just so like viscerally aware of the fact that like the things that I want to achieve for myself, for our team, for all of us collectively, is going to require an immeasurable amount of work, and there's never going to be a person that can step aside and say, oh, well, it's okay if I take this day, this day, this day, this day, this day, because I know what I'm asking for, and I'm just trying to be fair to the request.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm asking for a lot, and so I'm trying to give out a lot, if that makes sense. And that's how I feel about it. And so I think maybe more people, I don't know about the American aspect, but that's how I approach it. That being said, though, because I do love working hard, but I will tell you that I went to Iowa, and I've never in my life been in a scenario in another city where I'm traveling and getting work done and doing this and doing that, where I was like, I just want to go the fuck to bed. And
Why?
I've never felt
Why
that
did
way.
you go to Iowa? What is there in Iowa?
Honestly, when I got there, it just felt like Houston minus 100. And that's,
I mean,
that's
all of the American Midwest except Chicago is shit. You know, I had to do Minneapolis, I had to do Detroit.
I've never seen some shit like this before. So, well, I went to Iowa State University to speak, which I had an incredible time. People were amazing. They were super sweet. They were very supportive. The crowd was awesome. There was a much bigger crowd than I expected. It was at 11 p.m. at a college on a Friday.
Yeah, it's
It was
college.
on Friday, right?
That's when they're about to wake up.
It was on a Thursday. Thursday at 11 p.m. at a college. And we had a booked house, full house. Was someone farting right now? And so, long story short, we went there and had a great time. Now, Iowa is much less inhabited than I thought. So we got there, we did our thing, and then we had to leave early in the morning. Our flight boarded at 5:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So we finished the talk and got back to the Airbnb at like 12:50. So almost 1 in the morning. So that means I have to get up at like 3:30.
Okay.
So like 2 hours of sleep. I got to the hotel. I actually ordered food because I was fucking starving. And so I waited for it. After an hour, now it's 2 in the morning. They never found a person to pick it up.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
Like, and my thought was like, oh shit. Well, I'm sure it'll be fine because when I get up at 3 and we leave around 4:30-ish, we were 45 minutes from the airport, but there were no people there, so it's whatever. We get up, I order an Uber. Ulysses orders an Uber. We're sitting there waiting and no Ubers. So then we try Lyft. Now both of us are trying Lyft and Uber on both of our phones at the same time. Absolutely nothing after 30 fucking minutes. And we're like, this is bad. So then we start looking for car services, fucking limousine services, anything. Every single one of them didn't open until 9 in the morning on a Thursday. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of city is this? This was, by the way, this is not in Des Moines. This is in Ames, which is a smaller city, 45 minutes north of Des Moines, which is in the major city of Iowa. So then I was like, what the fuck? So that means that there were no Ubers in Des Moines. Sorry, I keep saying Des Moines. Yeah. Des Moines or Ames, and it was just straight dead. And so we were calling. I was at the point. It was so bad. Mm-hmm. It was so bad, and I needed to get back for a shoot. And if I didn't get back for the shoot, it would have fucked the schedule. It was so bad that I was looking for a private jet to fly back to the city. I'm serious. You can ask Ulysses. I was calling private jet
from Ames to Des Moines.
From Des Moines to Houston. Because my thought was we can find a car later, but we can't miss our flight. Because if we miss our flight, we gotta wait like 5 hours for the next flight.
Yeah.
But if I get a private jet, we can be an hour or two late and get a flight because it'll wait for us.
Yeah.
So I tried to find a private jet. There were no private jets in Des Moines.
And, if you have money, why would you fly to Des Moines? You know, if you have money enough to afford a private jet, you're going to Ibiza, you're going to LA, New York, wherever.
I want to point out that I've never flown in a private jet before.
I mean, you give off the vibe that you fly in it all the time, you know.
How?
That's the car you drive, the watches you wear. That's how I can tell it didn't grow with money. Because a little bit of showiness, you know. You finally have the money. Let's wear this shit.
Hey, at least I keep it in my pants though. You know what I mean? I could be hanging that out. No,
that's good. Child support is a bitch.
Yeah.
Not that I'm paying any, so that's good.
Yeah, are you?
No. Well, not yet. Might happen in the future
if you're lucky. In your career style, we've seen a lot in the comedy world.
Yes.
You could be that guy.
All right, so you found a private jet, or you didn't find a private jet.
Long story short, we did not find a private jet. I'm glad because they were way more expensive than I thought they would be, and I don't think I want to deal with that. And we missed our flight on purpose. We canceled the flight. We did not we were supposed to be at the airport by 5:30 in the morning. We did not get to the airport until almost 9 in the morning. We got to the airport, and there was not a fucking person there. No employees. There was nobody at the kiosk. When I say the whole airport was empty, at 9 in the morning, the whole airport was empty. There was no one there on Thursday.
Aren't you glad your parents didn't move to Des Moines after you lost all your money in LA? Aren't you glad they moved to Houston instead?
I think I would have been depressed.
Yeah. You wouldn't have been where you are today, I think.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Joshua Weissman. Go follow him.
You having me.
Oh yeah, well,
this is your show.
2 ways, goes both ways.
Yeah.
And go subscribe to him on YouTube. Go follow him on Instagram. All the links in the description. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, of course.
I'm gonna go rush off and do my show now.
Yeah, good luck. You're gonna do great.
We'll see. I'm tired, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired, but I gotta put on a good show.
Yeah.
So, yes. Thank you, man.
Of course. Thank you.
See you around.
Yes.